Hey everyone, Dave with the Spillproof podcast. Just want to let you know we are still going to be posting our podcast episodes up on our YouTube channel, but we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. Instead of putting the full episode on there, what we're going to do is put small snippets of it, maybe some of the highlights, things like that. And then if you like what you heard, you can check us out where our podcast can be found. So right now, our podcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. So if you like what you heard, check us out, Spillproof Podcast. You can write to us at spillproofpodcast@gmail. We love to hear your feedback or throw some stuff in the comments. Thanks, and thanks for listening.
This year we were like, okay, we feel pretty good. The adults are vaccinated. Mm-hmm. Some of the kids were vaccinated. It's like the kids who could be were vaccinated pretty much. And we were like, yeah, let's do this. And one of the family members, it was going to be a bigger group this year too. Mm-hmm. And one of the family members was like, I still feel a little bit uncomfortable. So can everyone take an at-home COVID test the day before just to make sure we're safe. Let's let's play it safe. Yeah. Let's do the right thing. And we were totally down, totally supportive.
We were actually like, we probably should have thought of that with our kids not being able to be vaccinated.
Right? Yeah. So we were like, why didn't we think of that? This is such a great idea.
Yep.
Such a great idea.
Spoiler alert. It wasn't great.
It wasn't great. And I'm sure that at-home COVID tests are correct 85% of the time.
Supposedly.
At the time, the data said that at-home COVID tests were correct.
Not taking into account for brand or how you do it. Time,
yeah, so
you can see where this is going.
Yeah, it was, but we were totally down. We were totally supportive. We have felt really uncomfortable at certain times and have always appreciated when family members were like,
honestly,
we
I
got
think
you.
Everybody has their own threshold for what seems safe. And it causes double standards and all sorts of crazy stuff. But honestly, this seemed like a very universal thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we weren't even... It was more of a precautionary thing. Like most at-home tests, if you've taken an at-home test, they've got two tests. So you do one, and then I think, was it 2 or 3 days later, you're supposed to take another?
Within 48 hours, you're supposed to do another. So this is after you've traveled.
Yeah, this is if you think that you actually have COVID.
Yeah, and I know right now they do recommend before a bigger gathering. Technically the CDC recommends before a bigger gathering to hey, just do it the day of to make sure you're good, whatever. Yeah.
So we what we did is they're very expensive. They're about $25 a piece, give or take, $5. And again, there's 2 tests in there. You're supposed to take one and then 3 days later take another. So what we did is we broke them up and we decided to just do one test each.
Yeah, there's 4 of us in our house.
Again, none of us had symptoms. None of us was sick.
We were good.
And that
daycare had been good.
Yeah, nothing reported at daycare. And I think there's only been a couple since the beginning of
There's been 2 since the beginning at daycare.
Honestly,
yeah,
daycare's been fantastic. I can't speak enough about that. But so we took the tests and we broke them up into individual. And that 85% is for 85% positivity.
Fall off an 85% that it's that the test is correct when it gives you a positive.
Correct. What it doesn't cover is if you're negative.
No, when it's negative, it's 98% correct or something.
Well, I guess we're just really lucky then.
No, well, it's 85%. If it's positive, it's 85. It gets it right 85% of the time. Mm-hmm. And then a false positive is 15% of the time.
Right, but the negative number was different.
If you get a negative, yeah, it's much less. The rate of error is much less. Your chair is so squeaky.
Is that me?
Yeah. Your chair's so squeaky.
Where's the other chair?
It's behind you.
All right, let me get the other chair.
Okay.
I thought that was you.
No. I stopped moving to see if it was me. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That one's horrible. It's about to fall apart, sounds like.
I think it just needs to be tightened. I thought it was you.
I literally stopped breathing to see if it was me, and it was you. I was like,
well, it's going to be a lot of squeaking at the beginning of this podcast.
sorry, everyone. Dave changed his chair because it was so squeaky.
Yes. I might just leave this in. I don't know. Like I said, we're trying to get this out tomorrow, so the lack of editing might, that might be left in.
So.
Squeaky chair.
It's okay, so cut back to it's Wednesday around lunch, and I'm like,
because we thought that'd be a great time. Yeah,
we're all together. Dave and I are both having lunch with the kids.
Again, we're both work from home in case nobody was caught up on that. Now.
Yes, we're both work from home. So, we're like, let's do this. So we have 2 COVID tests, 4 tests within the 2 COVID tests. 4 nostril tests, and like we each get one. There's 4 of us. So I think Emmy and I go first. The girls go first. We're negative. We're good. But okay, so for those who haven't taken one.
Yeah, go through this and explain the test.
It's like a pregnancy test, right? Where like they tell you that like there's obviously the control line, but if the test line, if there's any line at all, it's positive. And so, like, when you're trying to get pregnant, you're, like, hoping for that line. And sometimes you, like, manifest a line there that isn't there. And in this, like, instance, I was so worried, irrationally, because none of us had symptoms, that it was going to be positive, that I was, like, looking for that, that line, right? Like, any line, doesn't matter. Anything is positive. So, Emmy and I are, like, solid negatives. Then we do Owen, and I'm panicking. I'm like, I think I see a line. I think I see a line.
And I look at it, and there's no line.
Yeah, my mom looks at it. She was here. There was no line.
If you squint really hard sideways and then, like, draw a line on it, there might have been a line.
But it was one of those things where I was like, I think, like, even I admitted, I was like, I think I'm making it up in my head.
Yeah.
So at this point, we were like 3 negatives. Dave is last. We're like, we're good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, none of us have symptoms. We're good. This is just a precautionary thing.
Nobody had any symptoms. We didn't have any reason to take these tests.
It's honestly the first time in like months that we've all been symptoms. Like, we have not had COVID, but like our kids have had everything else.
RSV,
right?
colds.
RSV, just like colds, like daycare viruses.
Yeah. Which each time having to get a COVID test.
Right? Like our son.
Because they can't go back to daycare.
Yeah. Our son has gotten tested over 10 times. We counted. It's out of control. Because, you can't go back until you get tested. Out of control.
Right. Thanks for listening to the snippet of this episode. Full episodes can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. As always, we love feedback. Throw it in the comments or write to us at spillproofpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.